Millennials are exhausted, and it's not just because of work. It's because the world raised them to be both fragile and resilient at the same time, and no one ever told them it would feel like this. Millennials are the first generation to grow up fully in technology, plus social media. Yet we're still pushed into the traditional expectations of adulthood. They're criticized for being lazy or entitled, but psychologically, they were wired for survival in constant change. Today we're breaking down why millennials think, feel, and struggle the way they do, the hidden psychology no one talks about. Stay tuned until the end, because by the end of the video, you'll understand why millennials feel the way they do, and why their mindset is shaping the world today. Before we dive deeper, if you love psychology, mindset, and understanding human behavior, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This helps you get more content that explains behavior in generations like Gen X, Gen Z, and Millennials. Part 1. Millennials are people born roughly 1981-1996. They grew up during the rise of the internet and social media, 9/11 and global uncertainty, the 2008 financial crisis. They were raised with helicopter parenting, emphasis on achievement, messages to follow your dreams, a generation that is ambitious yet anxious, independent yet craving guidance, optimistic yet skeptical. Part 2. The technology effect. Millennials are the first generation to grow up with the internet. They experienced the shift from analog to digital, from floppy disks to smartphones. This created constant information overload, shaping their brains to process multiple things at once. Feel anxious about missing out, FOMO. Crave validation through likes, shares, and online engagement. Psychologically, this gave millennials a dual reality: confident online, insecure offline. Part 3. Financial pressures and burnout. Millennials entered adulthood during economic recessions, skyrocketing student debt, rising housing costs. Unlike Gen X, who often had more stable jobs early, millennials face constant financial uncertainty. Psychology lesson: chronic stress rewires the brain, creating anxiety, low patience, and overthinking. Part 4. Parenting styles and identity. Millennials were often raised by helicopter parents, constant supervision and protection. Pros: confidence in early skill acquisition. Cons: fear of failure, overdependence on validation. Millennials struggle to make decisions quickly and trust their instincts. They were raised to aim for perfection, but live in imperfection. Social media taught millennials life is always compare-worthy: success, popularity metrics, sharing, survival psychology effect is self-worth, tied to external perception. They crave validation, but feel anxious when it's missing. Part 6. Relationship and community. Dynamics. Millennials want connection, but grew up with divorce as a common experience, long-distance friendships via social media, balancing independence with desire for support. Resulting to commitment anxiety and need for meaningful relationships. Psychologically, they seek emotional security more than previous generations. Part 7. Mental health awareness. Millennials were the first generation taught to talk about mental health openly. They face high anxiety, depression, and burnout rates, but also have strong self-reflection skills, emotional awareness, desire to improve. This combination makes them mentally fragile, yet highly adaptable. Millennials dislike meaningless routines. They want purpose. They are entrepreneurial, but also job hopping. They balance fear of failure with desire for autonomy. This explains trends like gig economy rise, freelancing, emphasis on work-life balance. They're resilient but anxious, tech-savvy but nostalgic, independent but community-driven. Unlike Gen X, they grew up observing change, not surviving it alone. Unlike Gen Z, they struggle with mental load more heavily due to adult responsibilities. Millennials are the bridge generation, psychologically balancing old-world discipline with new-world instability. What millennials teach us about life. Adaptability is a superpower. Emotional awareness is valuable. They navigate failure differently, learning to survive and rebuild. The hidden psychology of millennials explains why they are quietly reshaping society, work, and relationships. Millennials aren't lazy, entitled, or weak. They're tired of the pressures that no one warned them about, tired of a world that moves faster than they were prepared for. But in this exhaustion, they've created the most self-aware, adaptable, and socially conscious generation yet. If this video gave you clarity on millennials or helped you understand someone in your life, like this video, subscribe for more psychology and mindset breakdowns, comment below. Are you a millennial? Do you recognize yourself in this mindset? Remember, this is part of our Generation Psychology series. Check out Gen X and Gen Z videos next and see how all three generations connect.